back to Faith, Family, and Fun Reviews. If you're new here on this channel, I share with you delightful, family-friendly, and faith-based movies and television shows. So yes, y'all, we are back for our movie chat to just roll us out of this weekend and enter into our new work week. So yeah, okay. So we're going to be talking about the film I'm in Love with a Church Girl. And if you have been watching my videos, you know I reviewed this film a while back. Probably one of my favorites. I know I say this all the time, but oh well, I got so many favorites. Yeah, so anyways, yes, here in this film we are going to be discussing, our discussion question is, was Miles in love with Vanessa, all right? Because there's a difference between love and being in love. Although some people may feel like they both the same thing, I personally do not believe that, okay? People actions show there's a difference in this. You can care about somebody, you can have love for somebody, but being in love with someone is like totally different. That's on a whole nother scale, okay? And most people don't even touch down in that area, right? So this is why this is the perfect question to discuss with this film, especially with, you know, the title and all. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into this thing, right? So a little mini refreshing course here for those of you who have no idea what I'm talking about. All right, I'm in love with a church girl. Here's what this movie is about. When a tough-minded ex-drug dealer falls for a beautiful but highly devout woman, their mutual attraction takes them both down a twisty path. Now, friends, okay, the way that this film started, number one, it already got my attention. Yes, this is faith-based. It is loosely based off someone's life here. I forgot the guy's name. But the pastor, the guy who played a pastor, Galley, in this film, yeah, this movie is based off, like, loosely based off his life, okay? So y'all know when you base a movie off somebody's life, you gotta embellish a little bit because, yeah, most of our lives ain't really that interesting, you know, to hold somebody's attention, because we'll have action and adventure, you know, every second, every minute of our life, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's why I say loosely. But anyways, yeah, so here we meet Miles, all right? At the beginning of this film, we are introduced to him. We know a little bit of his background. We can tell he's been a little, you know, he been into some things. He had a troubled past, like for real. He been down some really rough roads, all right? And most people like to hold you to your past and all of that, but in this film I like that we do get to see second chances here, okay? So yes, we introduced to him and we could tell, yes, he does have a bit of a background, but at the same time we see, and we wondering, like for real, we wondering if he even still dabbling in this background, whatever he used to do on the streets. We wondering that because the kind of vehicle that you're driving in, okay, and in the area you're living in, all this kind of stuff, the way you rolling, and you're a man of color, we got to be wondering, okay, Miles, what are you doing? What are you into? What kind of job you got that can afford you this lifestyle? From the way you dress from head to toe, he is decked down, y'all, okay? He looks like money, all right? We just gotta leave it at that. We just gotta state the obvious, okay? So anyways, he riding down this car, right? Or riding on the street, looked like some kind of like boulevard or something. It looked like a place where only certain people with money gonna be at, all right? So that's why his car don't even look like, for people who used to this kind of stuff, it don't look like it's staying out, but for those of us, you know, who don't know what that's like, it looks like, okay, what in the world is going on, boy? What you doing, Miles? So long and behold, he riding, cruising, really, that's what he doing, he cruising. And then he spot Vanessa, okay? We don't know her name at this point in the film. I mean, if we looking at it from Miles' perspective, his eyes, he see this woman that he's obviously attracted to, driving it in a luxury vehicle, just like he driving a luxury vehicle, got her sunglasses on, which look like it probably cost him hundreds of dollars, all this kind of stuff. So yeah, and he see her, she going opposite direction. So long and behold, he's turned that car around, y'all, and he following her, like speeding, not even worried about the speed limit, the lights, red light, green light, whatever, yellow light. He ain't worried about none of that. He's just trying to get to this girl. And I'm like, okay, is this really for real, for real? Do y'all do this? Do y'all have any experience with this on either end? Guys, do y'all do this when y'all see somebody that y'all like, oh my goodness, like the most beautiful person in the world, this is how y'all go after them? I need to know. It would just be interesting to know, okay? But anyways, it is just the way this whole scene is playing out is just interesting, okay? I'm wondering if you're gonna catch up. What in the world you gonna say? Do you even know what you're gonna say, Miles? Okay? Because you can't be approaching nobody all crazy because you don't want to look like no crazy stalker, okay? But he couldn't even catch her because he get pulled over by the police, y'all, which makes sense because you speeding, you driving like a maniac. Like tunnel vision, y'all. Like he don't see nobody but this girl in this car. So he get pulled over, and that's just the end of that, all right? And we do see, like, it goes into these scenes with these detectives, which makes the viewer wonder, okay, is Miles still dabbling in some things that we don't know about? Because I said, like, he just looked like he got money, okay? So I'm wondering if he's still doing some kind of stuff, some shady stuff he ain't got no business doing, because we do see the scenes cutting in and out through that. Like, he's being watched, all right? They got his eye on him, all right? And so anyways, he get invited to, like, this party by these rich people, you can tell, but it don't look like out of place because, like I said, he look like that's what he do, that's how he roll anyway. So yeah, he get invited to this party and he's all cool, but the guy that's hosting the party, him and his wife, like well, they go to church and different things like that. Miles is like one of them people at this point of the film, you can tell because they do show his mom, like his mom is a churchgoer and the dad is, but he's not really into that. He probably went when he was a kid, but that's just not really how he is, like, focusing and living his life at this point. Although he do got respect for it because, you know, that's where he come from, his mom and his daddy and all that kind of stuff. Okay, so anyways, y'all, he is at this party, right? And lo and behold, well, first I like what the host of the party is telling him. I forgot his name. Oh my goodness, I forgot his name. But anyways, the host of the party is telling him, like you ain't with nobody, you ain't bring nobody, you ain't bring a guest here. And Miles is like, no. Miles is like, he is focused on his money, you know, he's trying to get where you at. I'm trying to get where you at. Look how you rolling here, got this mansion out here, everything is decked out, all this. I'm trying to get where you at, buddy. Let's talk about that, okay? And so Miles, like, and the guy is telling him, nah, don't make the same mistake I made. Like, basically spent all my life, you know, trying to get to money and stuff, and almost lost my family in the process. And Miles is hearing him out, but at the same time, he's young and he's thinking, okay, I get all of that, but I get that that's how you feel, but nevertheless, you already, you know, made it. You here. I still got a ways to go. I'm young. I need to get myself together, okay? So I felt them on that, all right? I did understand, all right? So long and behold, when he went to introduce him to his wife and stuff, and then he see Vanessa, he see the same girl that he was chasing. And so at this point, I'm like, okay, it's just like, will somebody take this as a sign from God, okay? Like, seriously, this is a woman that you never seen a day in your life, and you saw her riding down whatever boulevard, and you are like chasing her and get pulled over by the cops, thinking you'll probably never see this girl again. And here you are, out of nowhere, you meet her at this party, and you could tell right away he's just like, wow, he's still like his breath, like she's breathtaking to him, and he's like showing this. He's not even hiding this, but at the same time, he's still trying to play it cool with him. Like, Miles, stop, okay? You need to stop it now. And so, but the host of the party, you know, caught it, was like, okay, yeah, that's Vanessa. She go to church with my wife. She's a part of the Bible study. So right there, he already knew, okay, he need to check himself. He got to come a certain kind of way because this is not his typical type of female that he's used to dealing with. Obviously, this girl is moved by different things, okay? So the guy told him about, like, they're not religious. They like to think of themselves as like men and women of faith. So he so that was a little game that Miles just caught right then and there, and he held on to that. So they go over there, they meet Vanessa. He introduced, the host of the party introduced him to the wife and all the members of this Bible study group. And they end up praying. While they praying, he the only one. Everybody like deep in their prayer, you know, mind focused on God, all this kind of stuff. He the only one, like, out of the corner of his eye, like looking at him, like, Miles, okay, can't you be so, like, you gotta be that obvious, okay? So anyway, when that was over, he stepped out, and they started talking, and Vanessa is like trying to peep him out, you know, try to get a feel of him, like, what church you go to. He like, I'm in between churches. And she's like, okay, well, what's the last church you went to? And he just couldn't even really answer that and all this kind of stuff. And it was just like so funny because Miles is like so transparent. Like, seriously, she can see through him. It is not like your typical when the guys be trying to be slick, like really be trying to be slick, like they coming with some real like jacked up intentions. You can tell that is not Miles. Like, he seriously is like interested in her. Yes, the first thing that he's attracted to is obviously, you know, her looks, because he don't really know her. But at the same time, you can tell he's not really trying to, like, he ain't got no bad intentions, like, seriously, because even like the way he knows that he ain't got himself together, and just him smiling and smirking and different things is really letting her know, okay, I see what you about. I see you. I get it. Okay. And so they sit there by the pool and they talking. You can tell for hours because the sun done set, all this kind of stuff. And I'm like, wow, that is a clue right there. Like, what guy can really sit there, y'all just meeting, can sit there and talk for hours, you know, and they're smiling, they're laughing. It looks like they're having like a really pure good time. And so right there, I'm just like tucking that in the back of my mind, because that's not something you really see, especially nowadays. Everything is so like really jacked up. People just trying to get what they trying to get. They trying to be shysty, shady, all kind of different stuff. And most people don't even know how to talk to nobody no more. They don't even know how to have a conversation anymore. They don't even know what that looks like. Don't even know what that feels like. So it was like really cool to see like this guy, and he's a guy. Like, you know, we know that women, it's been said that we probably, you know, talk more than guys can talk. And yet he's, you know, communicating with her. He's expressing himself. They're like chilling, like cool, like friends. And it was just like really nice to see, because you don't really see that. Like I said, nowadays, everything is all about the outside appearances, sexuality, all these different kind of things. And most people they just don't know how to hold a conversation. So right there, we cool. So at the end of the night, well, at the end of their little time together, you know, they gotta go, they gotta get up for church in the morning, all this kind of stuff. Well, Miles, you know, he ain't on that, but that's what she on. And he was like, well, let's not like play this game, like who gonna call who first, okay? Let's not do that. Let's like X out all the games. And I was like, I really like that, because it really shows that, okay, these two, they serious. They both not trying to waste their time. And I like that, because if you're gonna approach somebody and you first meet somebody, like just be real. Let's just put it out on the table. So I'm not wasting your time, you ain't wasting my time, okay? Because if you own something that I'm not on, then go about your business and do whatever you got to do somewhere else. Don't be wasting people's time. And I really love this, because Miles really was like on it, like seriously. And she was the same way. She was like, okay, cool, so they ain't gonna be playing a little cat and mouse game, all right? And so when they left, you know, they exchanged phone, and was Vanessa actually called him first, because she was up earlier. She did a video call, and she was like, she won the game because basically she called first. And I like that, because it was like, she's not like playing like, okay, let me see how far he gonna chase me and all this kind of stuff. Like, she crossed all of that out, and him being the same way, like he ain't on that dumb stuff, okay? There's so many other people out there who own that. Why waste this girl time? Like, they both look like, okay, I'm seriously looking for something that's different, that's something that is a little bit more permanent. Obviously, they're not talking about marriage at this point. You're just meeting a person, but at least, you know, let people know what you own. If you want to play around, you want to play games, let that person know, okay? Give that person that option, that choice to do what they want to do. And I love that they did that. They both was like, cool, like we gonna really like connect, okay? So she called him, and then I love that when she called and she took that step first and did video calls, and she was up early. And when Miles saw it, he watched it. You see him smiling, all that kind of stuff, like, okay, you know, like, oh, okay, butterflies and all that. And then on top of that, so, and I love that he ain't play no games with her. Like, as soon as he got the video call and watched it and everything, listened to it, he called her back. And they decided, you know, to connect, you know, a little bit later when they got some time and all of that stuff. And so, you know, eventually they end up connecting, hooking up, talking. And I love that the majority of their relationship here in this film was so much of getting to know one another, and at the same time building whatever they were building, this friendship, all of that was like literally being built on the foundation of God, because of Vanessa, you know, her stepping out, letting him know where she's coming from, how important her faith is, and different things. And he was cool with that. He really was, because he was so used to getting any kind of woman that he wanted, because he had money, he had the looks, he had everything that a woman would think that she would want. So he was used to all of that. He was used to people throwing themselves at him and just having it his way. And it was nice and refreshing. You can tell it was that way, because you saw it on his face and the way he carried himself. It was nice and refreshing to meet someone who knew who she was, knew what she wanted, and wasn't gonna let him just do what he wanted to do and walk all over her. And he really respected her because she respected herself, and he honored her because she honored God. And that was like so cool, y'all. So the majority of the time we seeing hold up, y'all, I'll be right back. Okay, y'all, I am back. Had to give me some drinks. Forgive the interruption. Anyway, okay, so we back on this thing. So one day Miles invite her out to this club or whatever, so they go out, and this club is only playing, y'all, like Christian kind of music, Christian gospel kind of thing, a chill place really. And she gets to meet his friend circle, and they seem cool and all this kind of stuff. But while they're like chilling around like inside the club, like, and once Miles leave away, well, first of all, his friends start telling this like crazy wild story, like back in the day how Miles was just kind of wild. And Vanessa's looking like, okay, like this is like her first time hearing something like this, so she looks a little bit skeptical. She looks like she's not as comfortable as she was. And so Miles catch that, go off in a cut with his friends and check his friends like, does it look like she impressed with y'all, what y'all saying about this? Like chill, like chill out, like seriously, she ain't on that. Don't be telling her all this kind of stuff, especially since he ain't on that anymore. He's not that same person he was back in the day, and he don't appreciate them bringing up these old stories in front of her who she doesn't understand. Like, he's trying to get to know her, she's trying to get to know him, and he don't want them to screw that up for her, him. So, and I get that. But while they're going, he's handling his friends in that area, like the girls that his friends, well, the girls who were still around the table who came with his friends, and they chilling, and they were like basically putting out there like, how is it really as good as people talk about? And Vanessa's looking like, what? Like, I don't understand what you're saying. And they say, you know, like basically Miles in the bedroom. So obviously she's getting right now, okay, so he has a history of being intimate with different people in the past. And she was like, she wouldn't know. And they were just like surprised, because obviously they're obviously they these kind of people ain't got no standards, like seriously. And so that's what they got. When you got no respect and different things for yourself, you're not honoring God, you're not living that kind of life, you get the junk, you get the pile of crap that people don't want, seriously. And so they looking like, wow, like this must be something different, this is obviously something special, because he ain't even try her like that, you know what I'm saying? Like, and Vanessa, I know she's like taking all of this in, but you can see like she's wondering, okay, if she even should be like dealing with him like that, because you got a reputation, boy. Like, seriously, you got a reputation. And so when they leave there, and she's still like, you know, still trying to give him the benefit of the doubt, like trying not to judge him, because she know that everybody has a past. We're all not like where we are, like seriously, you came from something. And so when they go somewhere quiet, and Miles really like open up to her and let her know that he had a past doing things and all these different kind of things. And so Vanessa's like, okay, like she understands like everybody has a past, basically, you know. She's not going to judge him by that. She's going to judge him with how he's behaving now, how he's respecting and honoring her, the kind of individual he is now before her. That's what she's going to do. And so I love that. And one time, yo, they go out like this weekend, like Miles like really open her up to, well, allow her into his world. Like he put on a lot of different events. Well, a lot of cash and different things are involved. And so when she goes out this weekend and spends it with him, and I love that even though they go out of town and stuff together, that they have their own separate space. Like, she is not like shacking up with this guy, like putting herself in the midst of temptation, or even trying to put him there. Like, she's still honoring God and different things. Like, they the whole time, y'all, throughout this whole film, they do not overstep them boundaries. Like, seriously, like they stay within them on it. Y'all know what I'm saying. Ain't none of that hanky panky. And I do appreciate that, because I feel like this film, even though it's very, very interesting, and I just love the scenery and different things that go down in the film, I feel like the message here was so clear in so many different ways, and I really did appreciate that and love that. Like, seriously, y'all, that it shows that you can have a decent relationship, you can have a God-fearing relationship with someone, but it has to be the right one. You're not gonna, the majority of people you come across, you're not gonna be able to have this kind of relationship with. But if you stand your ground, you continue to honor God, God will send that right person. Like, seriously. And I know it could probably, who knows how long, that is the thing, who knows how long that could take. That's the problem with most people, and most people give in because they feel like it may never happen. But I love that this film shows us that, you know, just wait patiently. Like, seriously, continue to honor God, continue to serve him and put him first, And that would happen for you, and it would happen in a way that it would be so life-changing, and you would appreciate it. Like, seriously, that person would love and appreciate you, and you would be the same way towards them. So during this weekend, they go out and she see how Miles roll. He gets into this little incident, trying to be there for his homeboys. A little bit of his past starting to leak into the present, and that just really like scares Vanessa. Like the fact that she saw that, okay, he still has a gun on him and different things, all this cash, and he explains certain things, and she ends up praying, and they praying together, like, seriously, to keep him safe and different things like that, and just wanting Miles to just get to a point where he can just cut everything off, even the friends that she feels like are not really good for him, that could possibly pull him back into a past that he's obviously trying to stay away from. So I love that, but at the same time, they do have like their first real kind of fallout here, because they run into one of Miles' old females or whatever, who he obviously been with in an intimate way, because Vanessa asked him and he told the truth. And she was like, oh, like, I shouldn't even ask. And he was like, then why did you? So they had that little thing right there. But I did love that Miles was totally honest with her throughout their entire like relationship. And she was just as honest and open with him and different things. And we get to see them go through their little ups and downs. We get to see like temptation leap in there, like try to seek in there and see what's going to happen, what that temptation is going to show, who you're really for and what kind of individual you really are. And when him and Vanessa got into it, and he ended up going out to the club, and and certain women were trying to get at him and different things, and she ended up coming out there looking for him later on, and she saw him like sitting up with some girl, some skank, okay? When she saw that, and she ran out like crying, like just cannot believe, and just went in her car and started talking to God, like, I cannot believe, Miles, why? Even though she didn't see him doing nothing, she just saw him like up there, with her and stuff like that. And it turns out Miles did not. Like, he was totally convicted. Like, as soon as Vanessa left, because he didn't even see Vanessa. And as soon as he left, just before he left, he felt like totally convicted. Like, that was just not his character. And I know in that moment he saw even how much he changed, and how this woman was changing him, and how God was changing him through this woman. Like, even on his birthday, he was gifted a Bible with his name on it. And the parents were like really feeling him. The mom was a little bit skeptical from the beginning, but they were always like asking him, like, are you that man for Vanessa? Are you going to be that man of God for her? And he was honest, and he was like, at that point of the film, like, he didn't know, he wasn't sure, but at the same time, you could tell he had a willingness, a desire to be all that Vanessa needed him to be. He just wasn't sure if he was strong enough. And so many different life things were happening in his life, like the passing of his mother, and Vanessa happened to be there with him during all of this different things that were going on. So it was a lot that he was like dealing with throughout this film, and constantly just trying to do the right thing as well. And all of this learning these scriptures and really understanding what God expected of him, what Vanessa needed of him. He was just trying to be everything that everyone needed him to be, and what he needed to be for himself, but at the same time, more than anything, trying to be all that God created him to be. And that was just so beautiful throughout this film. I really did enjoy it. And I just wanted to talk about this because, like I said, to me, I feel like, let me go ahead and say this because we're getting down to the question. Was Miles in love with Vanessa? I'm gonna have to say yes, he was, because one of the different things that sealed it for me is the fact that when he was tempted, to go back to his old wild ways, and he had every opportunity, he had everything that he could, he had everything that he needed to live that kind of life that most of these men want to live anyway. He had the money, he had the looks, he had the influence, all these type of things. And when he was in that situation where he could have stepped out on Vanessa, he couldn't, and he didn't. And he even told her later, like, he would never do anything to hurt her. Anything that he felt like that would possibly hurt Vanessa, he would not allow himself to do that, no matter how tempted he was. And even he wanted to go to another level with her. He wanted to be intimate with her, and he knew that wasn't what she wanted. That wasn't what God wanted for them at this point, because they were not married. He suffered that, and he just was like, no, he would not do that. He would not force himself. He would not try to force himself on her or try to tempt her or anything like that. He's just let her be. gave her that room and remained and stayed honoring her. And I was just like, wow, no, just caring for somebody, just liking somebody don't help you do that. Like, seriously, it does not. Being in love, when you're in love with someone, you cannot step out on them. Like, seriously, you cannot. That's just how I feel. And just watching this film confirmed it for me. So I don't care what nobody say, because some people feel like, well, oh, they just did it one time, but they were sorry, and they were crying. They may care about you. They may really like you. They may have a little love for you, but they ain't in love. When you're in love, you can't see yourself with nobody else. You cannot. You just can't even imagine it. It will hurt you too much to hurt this person. You can't even imagine being caught in the act, or allow yourself to be in an act that would break that person's heart. Like, seriously. And that is what I got in this film with Miles. Like, he could not. This same one who was just out, just outside. He was just doing the most way before he met Vanessa. But as soon as he was with her and just in her presence, he loved this girl. And not only loved her, he was in love with her. Okay, y'all come with none of y'all say, okay, you cannot cheat, you cannot have an affair, you can't do none of that when you're in love with somebody, okay? So that lets y'all know if that opposite is happening, you know what's up, okay? We ain't got to get into all of that. But anyways, we'll go ahead and get into our scripture before I leave y'all for the day. All right, once again, this film is titled I'm in Love with a Church Girl. Y'all can find it streaming on Amazon still, so yeah, okay? Oh, this was so good. So we're going to be coming out of Romans chapter 8, verse 25. And it reads, but if we hope for what we do not see, we eagerly wait for it with perseverance. And that's really just sums it all up, okay? If y'all hoping for this kind of love out there, wait for it with perseverance. Trust God, all right? So until next time, may the Lord bless and keep you both now and forevermore.